What kind of YouTube channel do I want to have? And what kind of history channel do I want to have? I meant to make this video as kind of an explanation video for what this channel will contain and the content that it will have. And I want to answer these two questions because, I think they just need to be answered for the creation of the channel. What kind of channel do I want to have? This has been a long time idea of mine to make a YouTube channel. I grew up on YouTube. I was always under the impression that if you were a YouTuber, you were either funny or you were educational. And I considered myself neither of those. And in regards to my history has always been something I've been deeply passionate about, and I've always studied it, and I've always loved to learn it after school. I always did good in tests. But with all that knowledge in history, I never really knew what I wanted to do with that knowledge. Like, it was always vague. It was always kind of a hobby, a passion, not something to be taken seriously. And so combining these two together, after a lot of thinking, this is kind of one of those moments where you think a lot and you do a bunch of different things on the side in your life, and everything just clicks. And I wanted to make this video to say that this will be a channel about history, and in particular a certain type of history. So my fascination with history is more so rooted in a period of history and a type of history that involves great people. And I've always been fascinated by great people. And I've always particularly been fascinated by conquerors and military leaders. There was something there that just I liked naturally. I remember watching a movie when I was young, movie Alexander. That was my first movie that I ever watched, and that was the first conqueror that I came across, Alexander the Great. And I remember watching that movie over and over again because there was just something so interesting about it. There was something so good to watch him, and particularly another period in history that I love is the medieval period. I love knights. I love the close quarter combat. I love the aesthetic of the medieval period way more than modern style warfare or any modern style theme of history. And I don't think that I don't want to make this too much about myself, but I don't think that YouTube needs another channel which is just going to be AI voiced, and it's just going to have like a monotone AI talking for 20 to 40 minutes about someone's life and just skimming through. I think there's a lot of videos on YouTube where they are heavily researched, and they're very well, they have a lot of knowledge in them, but they're just they're just not enough. And I watch them, and every single time I need more. I need reflection. I need thinking. I need someone to explain a lot of stuff to me, and I need podcasts. And I think that having a place on YouTube where you can have a podcast about someone, videos about someone's life that depict him in the most interesting and educational way as well, I think that will be really different. And if done correctly and with the right passion, it can be something that's really good, and it can explain great people in a very entertaining way. I mean, think about Napoleon, for example. There's so many videos about him, but we have a guy who, like, he basically went from a general who had a lot of potential and later became an emperor who beat the armies of Europe, like, combined more than 3 times. I mean, he was unstoppable. If you can just have a video about his life that depicts all the nuances and reflections, that's something that I would want to watch, and possibly other people as well. or someone else like Caesar. I mean, Caesar is one of those people where if you mention his name anywhere, everybody immediately understands who you're talking about. This guy who, I won't go too deep into his life, but he basically was born into an upper class Roman family, and one of the better branches of that family. And when he was exiled and forced to become a soldier and live that life, later he would come back to Rome and have a very famous campaign in Gaul as well. And he would become a person who almost turned Rome into a monarchy after its establishment as a republic in 509 BC. And his protege Octavian would actually be the first emperor after him. So that's a very big accomplishment for just one person. Or I can't really go over all of the conquerors without mentioning Alexander the Great. He is very close to my heart, and I consider him the godfather of every single commander in history. And there's something just so fascinating about a guy who turns 20 and goes on to, in less than 10 years, defeat a whole empire and conquer it. And I see some of the reasons why he was able to do that. But when you just don't know anything about him, that seems like such a big feat. And then conquering better parts of India before his premature death at the age of 32 in 323 BC. But what could have he done more if he was to keep on living? Not to mention that every single commander in history, every single business person today who ever aspired to be something looked up to him and studied him, particularly commanders and military leaders, and like great commanders and military leaders in history. And so I think there's a lot to learn from these people, and not just studying their life for entertainment purposes. I think if we can look at them and we can apply some of the strategies that they did and adopt their mindset, with war being such a primitive and dangerous state of reality, shouldn't the ones who had the most success in it be studied? Shouldn't we adopt some of their mindset, and that can hopefully lead us to be more successful in our life as well? These are great people and they're fascinating, and I think there's a lot to talk about them, and I think we need to pay attention to them more. And even if you're not bent on subjugating the world and you don't have that type of ambition, I think even watching them for entertainment purposes after a long day at work can be just relaxing. And so that's kind of my long-winded, unedited, very professional like intro. I hope that I can pass to you, the audience, my love of great people. That's really everything that I'm trying to do on this channel. Pass my love of conquerors and people that I admire to you in a dramatic and entertaining way, and as educational as I can make it to be. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for next videos.